it made some headlines. The origin of that claim didn't come out until weeks later when it was revealed that that claim was given to U.S. officials by members of Unit 8200. What happens afterwards? Kaspersky is banned from being installed on U.S. computers, but who takes over and who becomes the antivirus replacement? Cybereason.
Wow. So, yeah, it's just meet the new boss, kind of same as the old
right.
boss.
Another thing about the cyber attacks, New York's power grid is currently being operated by Israeli state-owned military contractors. Currently run the hydroelectric dams in New York, and most of its power grid are running the software on that.
When you look at the American media, and so much of it is left versus right, and so many people in America are left versus right, is it ever frustrating to you that nobody kind of sees the bigger picture where a lot of these people are on the same side no matter what they say?
Well, yeah, of course it's frustrating, because the whole left-right paradigm is to distract people from the fact that the left and the right, you know, the Democrats and the Republicans, with numerous policies, you know, they're essentially the same. They all support endless war. They all support, I don't know, the Federal Reserve. They all support the Israel lobby and, you know, giving
Saudi Arabia
$3.8 billion to Israel at a time when how many Americans are unemployed now?
Right.
No, I mean, these are all policies that don't change regardless of who's president, regardless of who has a majority in Congress. So, you know, basically the only disagreements are over like a handful of social issues, abortion, gay rights.
Right.
You know, maybe that's expanded a little bit more since they've tried to, like, you know, move the left farther to the left and the right farther to the right and all of this, right? But it's essentially the same. No one's talking about the billionaires that have totally, in intelligence agencies that are fucking everyone over, right? So that's the whole purpose of that. Of course it's frustrating. But in terms of the big picture, I'm only just covering, you know, talking about, you know, we've been talking a lot about Israeli intelligence today because of the whole Epstein op, right? But this is just one aspect of the big picture. But I think, you know, one of the reasons that Israeli tech and all of this is being used is because no one in the U.S. media talks about them, so it's the perfect cover. You know, they could be doing this on behalf of U.S. intelligence, and we don't know that, right?
Now, why do you think nobody in the U.S. media talks about them? Is it because they get hit with you know,
no one wants to be called
anti-Semitic,
names,
right?
No one wants to be called racist. No one wants to be called anti-Semitic, right? A lot, you know, but you know, there's some other examples, right? So, for example, there was this really great journalist. I don't think he writes a lot anymore, named Chris Ketchum. He did a lot of really great work on Israeli espionage, the Israeli art student espionage scandal in the early 2000s, and also on continuity of government programs and how terrifying they are, right? Because they were originally created by like people like Dick Cheney and Rumsfeld in the 1980s, and I really recommend people look into that. But right after he published some of this stuff on Israeli art students and Israeli espionage in general and continuity of government, right, and some promise software stuff, the whole magazine he wrote at, which was called Radar, was shut down. One of the major shareholders in Radar at the time was Jeffrey Epstein.
Wow.